Hello everybody and welcome back to RogueTech, where we definitely took some damage last episode. There's no doubt about that. We've got some repairs to do here. So let's go ahead and hop into the mech bay. We know that we need to work on the bull shark for sure, and it's going to be rough. We took extremely heavy damage in the bull shark. Yeah, extremely heavy damage. And that's entirely 100% down to airstrikes that we couldn't really do anything about. So that's a little bit unfortunate, but we'll go ahead and refit this. This will cost us quite a lot of money, in fact. But let's see what we can do here. Yeah, so. Wait a second. Wait a second here. Let me hit the repair all button. So it was long tom ammo in this leg that exploded. Okay, never mind. I figured it out. I was just like, wait, if our long tom ammo was here, then what exploded? No, it was long tom ammo in this leg. Okay, so that's fine. What do we have for additional long tom ammo? We can just go ahead and replace this. Okay, sounds good. Now, we were running some double heat sinks. We lost an AP Gauss rifle over here, LRM ammo. Okay. So one thing that I would like to do, I don't know how realistic it is, but I'd like to put case armor on. That's actually quite realistic. So that's good. We had an engine core 200 in here, along with an XL engine. I would like to try to find a way to avoid the XL engine, if at all possible. So we'll put the engine core 200 back in. There we go. And then we were running a double heatsink kit. And how many heatsinks did we end up losing? We lost 2? Okay, that's not too bad in theory. So we can put in a double heatsink, not a double heatsink kit. We can put a double heatsink here and a double heatsink perhaps here. I'm not sure if we need the space for a long tom. I think we have a replacement long tom. Yes, we do. Okay, so we can do that. We have 12 tons remaining. We're going to want to max out this armor, of course. And in order to do that, how overweight will we get? Well, let's see here. 1 ton and 2 tons. Now, keep in mind, we don't have any LRM 20 ammo here. And we ended up losing a single AP Gauss rifle, which was over here. I don't know if we have a replacement of those. We can check. We do. So an AP Gauss rifle goes here. And these are volatile, so it's also possible that it was an AP Gauss rifle that was destroyed. What else did we lose? We lost some safed LRM ammo and advanced optics, a gyro defense. Okay. So let's take a look at our gyro options here. We've got a gyro XL. I mean, that could save us some weight here, but we do require an additional slot. Now, we should have slots because of these movable slots, although these are, yeah, that should be a thing that's allowed here, I would think. Requires an additional free slot. So I guess these long tom slots are not movable out of here? Okay, that's interesting. We definitely need some ammo for our LRM 20. So, to that end, we're going to put in LRM ammo. And we have the cased armor now, so we don't need to put in safed LRM ammo. I would prefer to put in a double ton of LRM ammo. That's not probably an option. We did not lose our FCS indirect. We have mag shot ammo here and here. I don't believe we lost any mag shot ammo. Correct. We did lose an advanced optics Mark 1, which is unfortunate. That was very helpful for us. Let's see. We could go... We've got an FCS indirect. We should probably just go with regular LRM ammo, though. So something kind of like this. And now that we have cased armor, that's not as big of a deal. So, can we get away with endosteel structure or even clan endosteel structure? Do we have the slottage? I doubt it. We do. That's surprising, but I would much rather have this than an XL engine, if we can help it. This is going to be way cheaper as well. So let's also take a quick look at what we might be able to put up here. We had advanced optics previously. We could put in an advanced zoom. Requires an additional free slot. What? I'm fairly certain that there's a slot open here. Okay. That's interesting. If we were to drop in an exchanger, that also requires an additional free slot. What's going on here? That seems strange to me. We've got a free slot here. We've got a free specialist slot. Let's try temporarily dropping the LRM-20 Zeus and see if that changes anything. Yeah, no. Okay, so interesting. Does this require 2 slots? It's 1 slot. Uses special slot, requires 0.2 tons carry capacity. So yeah, I don't know why it's not letting us put this in here, but okay, sure. We have a specialist slot right here. I mean, this is the same thing we were having over here. Maybe one thing that we should do is just continue this and try to put this in after we finished all of our constructions. So in order to do that, we need to drop about half a ton of weight. And how would we want to do that? Well, half a ton. We could drop a medium laser. Then we'd have too much weight available. So, we could just simply drop some armor. I don't really like the option of doing that because we don't really have anywhere here where we're okay with them getting through our armor, right? At the same time, in theory, the bull shark shouldn't be taking substantial damage. But airstrikes are a thing, and we can't really do anything about them. So how much would we have to end up dropping in the legs? Quite a lot. We'd have to end up dropping like that, around, well, almost 40 total armor points. It's not necessarily perfect. We could drop an AP Gauss rifle instead. And honestly, we don't use the AP Gauss rifles that frequently. So I think that's what we're going to do. I'd rather have the armor here, I think. So we're slightly underweight, but there's not a lot we can do about that. I think we'll call that good. We'll validate that. And that's going to take 47 days to finish. Now, the bull shark is pretty vital to our strategy. Are we going to wait the 47 days? That's a good question.
I'll let you know when that's done.
For now, all 3 of these are going to take kind of similar amounts of time. So, if we wanted to deploy on a simple mission, we would want to get these mechs done first. And I think that's what we're going to do. So we'll go ahead and get that ready to go. Hop over to the Argo. And we're going to tick forward here a bit. So we're going to get some repairs underway. We've got a lot of repairs to do, of course. We're not going to buy a Solaris license. Thanks. Okay. So I do want to deploy here, I think. We're going to have to bring backup mechs. We're going to want to deploy on something fairly simple. So the Mauler is going to be done 1 day before the financial report. That's kind of perfect. The Longbow is done now. The Madcap Mark II is now done. The Mauler will be done now. Okay. So all we've got is the Annihilator, Fafnir, and Bullshark ready to go here. Now, the Annihilator, I believe, did take some internal crits that we'll have to work on. We'll do that after it finishes, if I remember. I'm assuming I'll remember. I hope I remember. We're going to hop into the mech bay. and double check that our existing mechs are good to go. Any moment now, RogueTech. There we go. Okay, so the Mauler is not. That's right, it took a heavy Gauss crit. I forgot about that until just this moment. So we can repair that. That'll take 2 days. That means that the Mauler cannot deploy with us here. I should have done this previously. Well, actually, the Mauler was the one that was 1 day away anyway, so I couldn't have done that previously. Okay. Well, one thing that we can do is we can tick forward, take the financial report, and go with the Mauler. Or we can deploy now, which I think we're going to do if there's a simple mission here. We're not looking for anything particularly complex right now, although an 8 skull 3 mil C-bill blackout, that's a little spooky. That is certainly a little spooky. We're not looking to do anything down here, that's for sure. 3 mil C-bill battle in an urban environment, huh? It's something we could do. An attack and defend is definitely not in the cards. This compensation is actually higher than I'd like to see right now, which tells me that there's probably things here that we don't like. This destroy base might be a reasonable thing to do. No free priority salvage here, so we'd have to run straight down the middle. And these are the mechs we've got. There we go. Took a bit to populate. So we can drop Coldfire, Succubus, and Brother, and we'd bring the Corsair, the Battlemaster, and the Awesome. And we'd still be short 1 mech. To be expected, but we would need to bring somebody who has Corsair affinities, as well as Battlemaster. What was Brother? Fafnir, Hector, Madcap Mark II. Okay. So let's see what we've got here. Bullshark, Awesome. Okay, so Paladin can drive the Awesome. Panzer, I believe, has Corsair affinities, yes. And who has Battlemaster affinities? I'm sure somebody does. Apparently nobody has Battlemaster affinities, or at least nobody that we have available right now. Okay, in that case, I think we're going to bring Bullfrog. She's not a great mech warrior, but the Battlemaster isn't a great mech, and that'll be a good training mission for her, hopefully. So we'll go ahead and do this. Let's see, the Salamander is underweight. Yeah, that's expected. Okay. So, the question then becomes, what are we going to be up against here? I'm hoping that it's a single lance and a group of turrets. And that's it. I have a sneaking suspicion that there's going to be a reinforcement lance. We'll see if that's true or not. I hope not, and I also hope that they don't bother to do any airstrikes. Or if they do, that they're ineffective airstrikes. Like, there's effective and ineffective airstrikes. When they come in from the rear, and there's nothing really you can do to move out of it or face the correct direction, it's rough. It's rough. Well, now we know, well, we're still feeling out what the exact edge of the airstrike area is. It seems to be something along the lines of 3 hexes away from the smallest, or from the furthest smoke pylon, right? That appears to be what it is, from what I can tell. So we'll see if we get any here. We need to destroy the Rasselhagian structures and escape. The Rasselhagian manufacturing facility on Camlin is an illegal intrusion into our territory, and a cover for military personnel and units. Our efforts to resolve this through diplomatic channels have been rebuffed, so we're now turning to a military solution. The facility must be destroyed. We should expect heavy resistance. The Draconis Combine isn't saying what's in that facility, but whatever it is has them riled up.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
Okay, let's see what they've got.
Command interface initiated.
Okay, so that's the base in question there. We can see turret emplacements. We obviously expected those. Strong opposition. We see a base garrison.
This place reminds me of my first wife.
Well, we can deploy right around here, which is basically where it wants us to deploy. This should give us LOS on all of those turrets, and we should be able to eliminate those in the first round. Let's see where their defenders are. We see that they're up over here, apparently. We see a catapult. We see a ghost. We see... That's actually it for right now. That's an Arrow 4 turret, and we don't see any other turrets at the moment. So, who moves first? That is our Awesome. So the Awesome is going to position out over here, and that will update our sensors. That shows us an Executioner, as well as a Long Tom emplacement, a Sniper Cannon turret, and a Thumper turret. Okay, what are the hit odds on that Long Tom turret? 64.3. We should definitely fire on this Arrow 4. So we'll go ahead and do that. This isn't going to kill it, but it'll weaken it. Okay. Next up is our Salamander. Now, these turrets have to be the priority here. The Salamander is simply going to turn and remain in cover. We're going to fire on the Long Tom cannon emplacement, I think. That's out of range of the MRMs, so actually, no. I was expecting that it wasn't, but we did lose that missile range FCS. My own fault. I should have remembered that. So, looking at our hit odds, it's actually best to fire on this catapult. We'll Warlord, and we will fire on the catapult with the AX rounds. Pretty solid damage there. Next up is our longbow, which we would like the longbow to be in cover, but it's not, and there's nowhere to go into cover. So the longbow will position here. We're probably going to fire on the Long Tom turret. Only 55%. Much better on the Arrow 4, so I guess we'll eliminate the Arrow 4 turret.
Roger.
This could easily kill it. Let's see if it does. We didn't quite get the crits we needed there. Okay. So phase 15 is going to be this ghost. And we'll see what it wants to do here. It shoots at the Salamander and gets very little done. And then we're expecting an ace pilot after. But actually it didn't. Oh, that wasn't the ghost. That was somebody up here. Probably this Vulture Mark IV. Actually, it definitely was the Vulture Mark IV. So the Madcap Mark II is going to move up over here. We could go for the kill on the Arrow 4. What are the hit odds on that Long Tom? Mediocre. Let's go for the kill on the Arrow 4 for right now. There we go. So they don't get to use their Arrow 4 turret on us. Then they're going to move this Executioner, and we'll see what it decides to do. Now, this Long Tom turret is definitely our next priority. The Thumper and the Sniper Cannon, I mean, they're both important for us to destroy, but they're not anywhere near as important. The Ghost runs away, shoots at the Awesome, and gets a couple of hits there. Not too bad there.
What do you need?
So our Corsair is going to remain in cover, but step over this direction. We're trying to spread out to make it so that they can't hit all of us with their artillery. We definitely need to hit this Long Tom, and the question is, do we fire high explosive or shape charge? The answer is high explosive. Okay.
I'm taking the shot.
I'm reading heavy damage to an enemy structure.
Well,
Bring it down.
we got some damage into that Long Tom emplacement. Their catapult moves up, fires on our Awesome. That's fairly expected.
Can't take much more of this.
Oh, you're okay for now. Okay, so that's a big hit on the Madcap. I wish we could see what was going on over there, but that was the Long Tom. Okay, so they fired a thermal round over here. This is unsurprising, and what we wanted to avoid. So the Boar's Head is going to step back over this way, and we are going to Warlord, and we're going to continue to bombard this Long Tom. I think firing the Shape Charge here on 79% hit odds is fine. Yes. Okay, so there goes the Long Tom. Too bad it didn't roll a slightly lower initiative so that we could have avoided this big fire. But, oh well. It is what it is. The Battlemaster is going to head off over this way because we want to fire on this thumper turret or on the sniper cannon turret. What are the hit odds there? 28%? Yeah, it's gotta be the thumper turret. So we will go ahead and not Warlord, because Bullfrog doesn't have a Warlord.
Target.
Okay, 3 hits into the thumper turret, we'll take it. So now these turrets move. Also the Executioner. Yeah, fairly expected there.
Damage.
My heat sinks can't take much more.
Okay. So actually, the sniper cannon turret didn't fire. But yeah, they're firing more fire at us. This is unsurprising. So the Salamander is going to sprint over this way.
Affirmative.
We're in fire, and that's a bit of a problem for us. We could fire the Clan LRM-20, and that's okay heat-wise. So we will strip down some armor on this thumper turret. There we go. And we'll see what their lance decides to do in response. This will be the Ghost. Any moment now, Mr. Ghost. He has a lot of options to think about. He moves into the fire, shoots at the Mad Cat. That's fine. Okay. So next up, our Awesome is going to attempt to move out of the fire. It will not make it, but it will move up.
Move. Full speed.
And we can fire on the Thumper turret here, or on the Sniper Cannon indirect. We're going to fire on the Thumper Cannon, and we can't get away with firing one heavy PPC due to heat. So we're going to fire the other. And that Thumper turret's armor is getting quite low. Next up is going to be probably their Vulture Mark IV. Yep, that's firing on the Mad Cat. It actually missed every single one of those shots. We'll take it. Okay. The Mad Cat Mark II is going to step over this way, and its heat is a concern, so we're just going to brace it.
All this heat. I'm taking heat damage.
The longbow is going to remain where it's at, and we could fire on the Sniper Cannon turret, but we're going to finish off the Thumper turret. Obviously, heat-wise, we can't do this. We're going to fire just the one ELRM. This is actually not going to destroy the Thumper turret, I don't think.
Confirmed.
Not unless we get solid crits, and we didn't quite get what we needed there. Okay, so next up is our Corsair. Our Corsair is stepping back here to attempt to get out of the fire. And actually, it has to step kind of sideways here.
Confirmed.
Very non-ideal. But we can fire on the Sniper Cannon turret with our Thumper Cannons. We, of course, can't fire our ER Large Laser. But we'll just see what we get here.
Roger.
Some damage into the Sniper turret. Okay, so their Catapult walks up. Shoots at our Longbow. That's unsurprising. And he's also got Infernal Rounds. So they have a lot of heat that they're throwing at us, for sure. But we've eliminated most of it. Our Boar's Head is going to step over here.
Moving to position.
And we are going to, I think... I'm just thinking about heat right now. I think we can't really get away with firing our artillery, but we could fire our LRM-20 at the Thumper turret and try to eliminate that. Perfect. So all they've got left over here is the Sniper turret. And let's see what that does. This is the Executioner. Moves off. Doesn't do anything. Okay.
Commander.
So the Battlemaster is going to step back out of the fire here. And we're going to fire, of course, on the Sniper Cannon turret. Now, our hit odds are probably not going to be great. Yeah. Absolutely nothing going on there. But we gave it a go. We gave it a go.
Let's hit him hard.
Okay. Next round. They didn't fire with that Sniper turret again. We're going to move up with our Salamander.
Order acknowledged.
Are we in range of the MRMs here? No. Okay. So we could fire instead on this Catapult, and I think that is the way to go.
Firing.
And that's a dead Catapult.
Target
Beautiful.
down. Waiting for orders.
So our Awesome can step forward out of the fire
Moving
here,
to position.
and we're indirect on this Sniper Cannon turret. We could fire on this Ghost, hit odds are low. Or we could fire on this large military building. There's only the 2 buildings here, so we have to get through both of these. Let's go ahead and fire on the large military building here. And we'll start chunking that down. About 20% of its health gone there.
Standing by.
And now our Corsair is actually able to see a rear arc here. That's interesting.
Copy that.
On this Executioner. I don't think we actually care about that, though. We're going to keep hitting the sniper cannon turret.
Attacking from position.
Solid hits there. Okay, they have 2 Phase 15 movers. One of them is this Ghost. The other should be the Vulture Mark IV. Let's see what they do here. We almost have this fully under control at this point. The Vulture Mark IV moves up, fires on the Awesome.
Commander, I'm wounded.
That is incredibly unfortunate. He got a single hit in there and destroyed the infected Myomer bundle. Which would have repaired the armor there. Okay, well, that's sad, but it's not the end of the world.
Position confirmed.
So we need to hit the sniper cannon. Like, every single thing that has hit the Awesome hit in this torso, basically. There's been some hits on this leg, this arm, but this torso has taken by far the most damage. So we need to fire on this sniper cannon, but hit odds are low and heat is high, so we're actually going to have to brace here. The Vulture Mark II is now, or rather Mark IV, is now in a much more vulnerable position for us. This is going to be the Ghost moving, and it's probably going to also attack the Awesome. We'll see what it does. It goes for the Salamander, actually. Okay, cool. And completely misses.
Standing
Next
by.
up is the Madcat Mark II. Now, the heat on this thing is still very high,
Acknowledged.
but we don't actually generate that much heat. What are our hit odds on that sniper cannon turret? Okay. Not very high. What if we were to switch to the Ghost? Kind of broadly similar over here. I think we're just going to brace again and sink that heat. That sniper cannon finally fires,
Getting banged up real good here.
and we're okay for now.
Not much armor left in that location.
The battle master is going to step in over here.
On the move.
We'd love to fire on the sniper cannon turret again. We don't want it to fire anymore. We got a single hit in there, so it's almost out of armor. Now that Executioner moves, we'll see what it does. It's probably going to come this way. No, it backs off and goes for the Madcat Mark II. Okay, I would have fired that at the Awesome for crit fishing, but sure. If that's what they want to do, I'll allow it. Okay, I did not actually mean to reserve there. I accidentally hit numpad enter, and apparently that causes you to reserve. Who would have known? Not me. But we're going to finish off this sniper cannon turret with our artillery.
Engaging.
There we go. So no more artillery turrets for them.
Got him.
And now we can focus in on their remaining lance. So, at this point, our Salamander will advance over this way.
I'm there.
We'd love to hit, let's see, the Ghost is 30%. Honestly, with the amount of armor that that Ghost has, we may be better off firing improved here. I think so. Get that tag up to the top, and let's do it. Okay, that spread out quite a lot, but that was still good damage to the Ghost.
Yes, Commander.
Next up, the Awesome needs to defend its right-hand side, so we want it to turn, I don't know, something kind of like this.
On my way.
It's not ideal, but it'll have to do. 32%, 26%. So we will go ahead and Warlord to fire on this Ghost. This overheat is, I think, fine, especially if we don't fire this medium laser. We won't overheat at all.
Locking target.
That's a structure exposure on the Ghost, and we made him unsteady.
I'm here.
The Corsair is going to back off out of the fire,
Acknowledged.
and we're going to drop artillery on this Vulture. Some decent hits there.
Aye,
And the Madcap Mark II is going to stay where it's at, I think. I'd like to hit this ghost. Yes, this is acceptable. We want to Warlord. We're going to be crit fishing in that arm, but arms are not usually ideal for crit fishing. Otherwise, let's see what we get. Not a lot internally there. Okay, so we'll ace pilot over this direction.
Position confirmed.
There we go.
Over the red line. Heat
And the
damage.
longbow will position out over here. Eventually, these fires will go
I
out.
copy.
Eventually. We're going to see about finishing off the ghost here, ideally. It's probably not going to happen, if I had to guess. But we could kill the ghost here. Structure exposure and 2 engine crits there, as well as an MML3 destruction.
My heat sinks can't take much more.
Okay, so the boar's head is going to position out over here.
Roger that.
We're going to continue dropping artillery on the Vulture Mark IV. I think we're going to fire high explosive here, and heat is a concern. So we're not going to fire the LRM-20.
Here we go.
A solid hit with the sniper artillery, a bit of a miss with the Arrow 4, but it's not too bad. And now they're going to move their Ghost and their Vulture Mark IV before we even get to move... Oh no, we have moved things. I was thinking this was a new round. I was thinking these guys had already moved. So he's going for the awesome. This is unsurprising. He does not hit our already exposed area, so that's good. The Vulture Mark IV is a bit of a concern here. We'll see what it does. We have already chunked its armor pretty substantially. So that's solid. It moves up, fires on the longbow, and almost all of that actually stray shot their ghost. Now, they did get a structure exposure in that one torso that everything seems to hit on the longbow. Like, the longbow had the same thing going on, where basically everything has hit this torso. And, ooh. ELRM crit and a heatsink destruction with everything continuing to hit this torso. The Executioner moves up. Okay.
Waiting for
So at this point, our Battle Master is going to position over here, and we're going to fire on this ghost. We could stray shot behind it. Let's see what happens here. The ghost is dead. Excellent.
Target eliminated.
Okay. So next up is going to be our Salamander. The Salamander does get a direct LOS over here.
I got you.
And this fire went out, so that's very, very good. We can fire on the Executioner. We're out of range of it. However, that's 74% LRM hit odds. Do it.
Copy that.
So that's some damage to the Executioner there.
You.
The Awesome is going to, I think, step forward out of LOS here.
Acknowledged.
And then 14% versus 70% on the building. And what are we on the Executioner? 35? Okay, we'll fire that. Now they move in phases 19 and 14. The Madcap Mark II is going to step over here.
Location confirmed.
What do you mean chemical fire? The fire's gone. Okay, whatever. So, looking at our hit odds, 26.4, 35.1. So, it's obvious that we want to hit the Executioner here. We do have an overheat alert. We're going to not fire this LRM-15.
Locked on target.
Solid armor strip there.
Redlining.
Next up is our longbow, which also wants to protect its right-hand side.
Roger.
And we can fire on the Vulture or on the Executioner. Hit odds are almost identical, but they're slightly better on the Executioner. Heat is still a concern,
Engaging with target.
so we'll fire just the single LRM here. Okay.
Standing by.
Next up is the Corsair, which is going to move up over this
On my
way. We could fire direct fire here. Direct fire shape charge, but I don't think that's worth it. We're going to continue to hit this Vulture with artillery.
Aye, aye. Engaging on.
One kind of bad shot and one decent shot there. The Vulture moves now. Let's see what it does. Ow. We got a little lucky with those missiles.
My armor's breached.
Indeed it is. So that was in that leg. Okay. So next up, of course, is our Boar's Head, which moves up.
There.
And it is going to drop artillery, probably also on the Vulture. Yes.
Copy.
Okay, so that's the structure exposure on the Vulture. The Executioner moves now. And we'll see which of our mechs that have been chunked pretty hard actually get hit here. It calls in an airstrike. Okay. Its positioning on that airstrike wasn't amazing, but that's going to be interesting to get out of. So the Battlemaster is going to move over here, which should be well out of the airstrike. And we're going to fire on this Vulture Mark IV almost certainly. Actually, our hit odds are better on the Executioner. So we'll hit that.
Rocket on target.
Little bit of armor damage there. Now, phase 25.
I'm ready.
The Awesome absolutely has to sprint out of here. Is this far enough out of the airstrike field to not get hit by the airstrike? I don't know. And we don't know what direction this is going to come from either. This is what I would consider out of the airstrike area, but it may not be far enough. So we need to hit this Vulture Mark IV here. And we're going to Alpha Strike it. So we took out 2 LRM-5s there and made it unsteady.
Heavy damage. Yep.
The Salamander is, of course, also going to head out of here. This definitely is out of airstrike territory. We're going to fire on the Vulture Mark IV. There's no point in firing AX rounds here. Improved will absolutely be better. This is a kill on the Vulture. There we go. Okay. And now here comes that airstrike.
Enemy airstrike.
Well, that sucks.
Warren mech is coming apart.
Okay. So we know it's coming from front arc now. And we also know that this was not out of it, but everything else appears to be. I would think that the longbow was actually closer, but it could be that it's just not within this swath that they choose here. So I don't know. It's awkward. There's no doubt about that. The way that the airstrikes are done. I just, like I said previously, I don't mind airstrikes. I just wish there was proper counterplay. So we got some structure exposure on this Executioner. The Madcap Mark II is going to walk out of here to hopefully be out of the airstrike corridor. And we're going to hit this Executioner. We can't fire our second enhanced LRM-15 due to heat. But that's a lot of damage to that Executioner.
Inflicted some heavy damage.
And now the Executioner itself moves. So we'll see what it does here. And now they disappear. Okay, so he crit an ELRM-20 there.
That was a bad hit.
And then he moves on up. So the indicators are now gone, but there's going to be at least 2 more strafing runs. We're going to sprint the longbow over this way to hopefully be out of the strafing runs. And we're going to fire on this Executioner with everything we can. Which is pretty much this. We're crit fishing.
Attacking from position. Target's taken a critical hit.
Is it just me, or did I not see any Hypergauss fire there? I thought I had them selected. Maybe not. Well, the Boar's Head is going to fire on the Executioner. This is honestly pretty likely a kill. That's a torso destruction and a bunch of engine crits. Like a ludicrous number of engine crits. Okay.
I'm melting in here.
Yes, Commander.
And then the Battlemaster can finish the job. One of our UAC-5s is jammed. So that didn't exactly finish the job. And here comes the airstrike. So are we far enough away? Enemy airstrike. Nope. I swear, we're like 7 hexes outside of the field.
Now I'm taking it good.
Luckily, nothing went internal there.
Confirmed.
So the salamander could sprint up over this direction, but we're going to head up over here and eliminate these buildings. So the large military building should go down from this, I think. I think we have enough damage here. Yes.
Structure down. It's
There we go.
history.
Commander?
And the Awesome is going to continue to walk away from that area.
Affirmative.
And we're going to lob some LRMs at this Executioner. Not the crits we needed, but that's okay. The Longbow is also going to lob some crits at the Executioner. And there we go.
On target.
So the Executioner's out of here.
Ready for orders.
The Madcat Mark II will head over this direction, and can we destroy this military building before another strafing run comes in? That's the question.
Taking the shot.
Well, that was a lot of damage to it.
I'm out of LRMs. She's running too hot.
And it's the Corsair,
shut her
so
down.
yes. Let's do this.
Aye, aye. Engaging target.
There we go.
Time to bug out. Get to the LZ for extraction.
Okay, so it looks like we actually have to go to the LZ, or at least get to the end of this round, probably. Which does mean we could take another strafing run.
Receiving you.
The Battlemaster will head off over here. And just brace. And here comes the strafing run, I'm pretty sure. Surely we're out of range with the Awesome by now, right?
Watch the sky.
No. So, I don't think it's actually range related. So, we got a little lucky there that nothing went internal. The Longbow will head over this way. We just mostly... In fact, let's just brace all units.
Roger that. Digging in.
Wait, we actually have to evac here?
All right.
We actually have to go to the evac. That probably means there's another Lance, and that's a big problem, actually.
Heading out.
Acknowledged.
Okay. Well, we're going to head up over this way. If there's another Lance, I'll have to put a cut in here. This has already been pretty long. So,
Acknowledged.
that's really unfortunate, but I don't think that this is related to range at all. It's kind of janky, but I think it creates a corridor, perhaps all the way across the map, in the direction that it's flying, and you have to get out of that corridor like a rock rolling. So I think that the indicator might be, like, super duper...
You say so.
The smoke on the ground might be super duper
On my
misleading.
way. Roger.
But we'll just head towards the evac point. I don't know why it's making us go to the evac point, which is all the way over here, by the way. There must be another set of enemies.
way.
Otherwise, it would have let us just leave.
Copy that.
Affirmative.
But we'll make our way up.
Confirmed. 10-4. Roger that.
The base no longer exists. But man, this is a long run.
Acknowledged.
Copy that.
Like, the mission should be over here.
Location confirmed.
Affirmative.
We're not seeing any other enemies.
Moving to position.
Maybe it just bugged? I would have expected them to spawn by now. It's round 17.
Acknowledged.
I copy.
Roger that.
Well, we have to go over this way with the Awesome. The Salamander's scouting it out,
Location confirmed.
but we may not want to actually enter the zone just yet in case it does spawn enemies and we need to get these slower units there.
Roger.
So that's definitely something to consider. Okay, so there's a Stalker and a Mastodon over here, as well as a Firestarter and an Ostrock. Okay, so there are enemies. In that case, there's that strong opposition. And in that case, I do need to put a cut in here. So you can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings. And I'll see you all next time.